Welcome to another Tech Tips on Tuesday. Today we're going to use the remote control and an infrared sensor to control the train. At this moment a multitasking program is running in which you can see a traffic light, a blue LED with a blue button and the three colored buttons green, yellow and red. The traffic light is the one which is constantly running at the same settings as we did in the previous versions of the Tech Tips. We have a blue button to control the blue LED, which will go off as soon as the orange LED is lit. And we have the green, yellow and red button to control the speed of the train. So if I press the green button, the train will get power and then eventually will start the engine and will slightly increase the speed till it hits the maximum. For this train I set the maximum to 70 and you can see that on the screen as well. So it now reaches the maximum speed. We can stop the train or reduce the speed with the yellow button. Now it will slowly decrease the speed as you can see it and then finally comes to a halt, which is approximately 30, and then the train will be powered off. We can also have the train increase the speed, so the train is now starting, and then we have the red button, which is an emergency shutdown. And you see that the traffic light is constantly working. So that's a multitasking program, which I will discuss in a later section of the Tech Tips. But for now, we're gonna use the remote control to start and stop the train. So, what are we gonna do? First of all, I have here an infrared receiver and I have a remote control. These came with a kit which I bought for this Arduino project. This remote control sends out signals to that infrared receiver, and every remote control is different. It sends different patterns. So we need to make sure that the program detects it. I received a header file with the data for this remote control, so that is what I'm gonna use. So I will be hooking up the receiver to the Arduino Mega, and then in the program we're gonna define which keys are going to function for what action. So at program start, this power button here will do a power on. And after that, there is a toggle in the program which detects that it is a power off or a power on. But at program start, when you press the power button for the first time, it will be a power on. Then we have the play pause button. From program start off, this will be, if it is pressed, a start. If you press it again, it will be a stop or a pause. And what we're going to do next is we're going to use these two buttons here. This one will increase the speed. And this one will decrease the speed. So this is the arrow down and the arrow up. So those are the keys which we'll be using. And the program which I'm gonna use for that, which came with this kit, I need to modify that to be able to do that power on and power off and the start and stop. And I will load the program first so you can see what it does in the Arduino Mega. Then we're gonna test the buttons and we see on the screen which button is pressed. But I'm only gonna use the power on, the play pause and the decrease and increase button. So let me hook up the infrared receiver and I will be back shortly. So let me open up that program by File, Open, and let me go to the original version because I've modified the one. So let me move it over here. So here it's open, and we see that there is a header file loaded as well. And this is a local header file. You can see that at the double quotes around the ir.header. If we're gonna open that one up, we see that if it's not defined, then we have the IR header, in which it shows that the receiver has pin 11, and it defines the keys, how they are being read. So for example, when you hit the power button, then the remote control sends a signal to the receiver, and the receiver translates it to 0xFFA25D. That is the code which the receiver uses. Within this header file, we have an unsigned long key value array, which is the power key, which corresponds to the define of these settings. And then we have a key buffer array of 21 indexes, which shows power, function, stop, etc. So as soon as a button is pressed, we can use the key buff to relay to that button what action has been done. Going into the IR receive module itself, we see that a IR receive function is used, IR receive v receiver. This function comes from the IR remote header, and then decode results. That's the results which are decoded in the infrared header file. So in the setup, I added some print line feeds to clear out the console, and as soon as the program is ready, it shows IR receiver button decode. The original came with a for loop, but I actually changed it to make it a little bit more readable with a switch. The result, as soon as the receiver decode has been run, the result value in the switch results in either a power, a function stop, a volume, etc. So let me upload this program. So let me compile it first, and I'll upload it to the Arduino Mega, and I will show you. So on the screen you should see IR receive button decode. So we have the power button. If I press it on the screen, it should say power. If I press the play pause, it should say pause. If I press the down key, it says down, and then the up key, it says up. I can also press one of the others. So 5 should display 5, function stop should display function stop. But those actually I don't need. So I would make a change to this. So let me save this to another option. So it would be IR remote control train. So now we have a sketch which is called IR remote control train. The buttons which we're going to use is the power button, the pause button. So all the others can be either removed, and I will actually comment them so that they are not detected. So let's make it a little bit simpler. So I'm going to check it that I didn't make any mistakes. Sketch is compiled. So let's upload it. So if I now press A9, nothing happens. If I press the power, it reports power. If I press any other button than the ones which I'm going to use, nothing happens. You see that the LED lights, but nothing is displayed. So now I have blocked all the others. So this would be pause, this would be down, and this would be up. But I would like to have a power on or a power off. A pause will be a start and a stop, and the down and the up, that is fine. I'm gonna change the wording, which means decrease, and this would be increase speed. And the pause would actually be 2, but it's the same button. So how are we gonna do that? First of all, I'm gonna create a string which is called the IR remote control key. So we're gonna do that here. String IR remote control key, and at this moment it will be blank. I'm gonna set a boolean to check that when the program is started, that the power button is a first power on and then the next it's a power off. And I'm gonna call it IR remote control power. I'm gonna set it to false. And the same with the play and pause button. I'm gonna use a Boolean as well because it can only be true and a false. IR remote control play pause. I'm also gonna set that to false. And within this switch, instead of immediately printing the power, I'm gonna check what the status is of the program. So in this case, I'm gonna use a if statement to check on the remote control. So if IR remote control power equals false, which is the first state, then it would be a power on. And the next step what I need to do is I need to set this Boolean IR remote control power to true. Let me remove this one, the break, because the break comes here. So that's the first section. Else, and I don't have to specify it again, I would do the following. So I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna make a power off and this will be false. The same with the pause button. So I would actually be able to copy this over, so this whole section, and then put it in between here. Let's see if we did it correctly. Yeah, play pause with capitals P. So play pause, start and a stop. So let's check it. No failures. Let's upload it and see what the program does. So I'm gonna press the power button and it should say power on. I'm gonna press the power button again and it should say power off. So that works. I'm gonna press the play pause, which should now say start. And if I'm gonna press it again, it should say stop. And the other two keys I didn't modify. So that's step number 1. So now step number 2. We would like to control the train. So first of all, there are no pins at this moment selected to address the H-bridge controller. So we need to define those first. So let me put this one in here. Define settings for the H-bridge motor driver. So that would be define TR01 PWM speed. That would be pin number 12. As you see that I'm using an Arduino Mega at this moment. I used to use a Arduino Uno and a Arduino Nano, but due to the complexity of the program, I needed to have some more memory space. So I use a Arduino Mega and I set new pins. So 12 will be a pulse width modulation pin, and then for the forward and reverse message, I'm gonna use pin number 48 and 49. So this is for the H-bridge motor driver. So the train which I'm gonna control at this moment is a 1208. So I'm gonna create a 1208, create a string of numbers for that 1208 train. So train NS 1208. It will have 6 instances and those will be 0, 25. 25 is for power on. 30 is the minimum speed that the train will start driving. 70, 90 and 110. And then of course I'm gonna use a integer for the current speed set. So this is the speeds and the forward and reverse. So now I need to define those pins. So pin mode. And I'm gonna do a digital write. And number 2 also, which means the train does not move at all. And I'm gonna do a analog write to TR01 PWM speed and then index number 0, which means I'm gonna make sure that the train is off. So this section here can be easily copied to the power on section. The only thing what I would like to show you with the power on is that there is power to the train. So it will be positioned over here. I'm gonna put this into high and this is low. So number 1 is high and number 2 is low, which means a forward motion. And I'm gonna set the speed to index number 1, which is just a power on. So let me copy that one. That means I'm gonna switch it off. So here I'm gonna do a power on and just hit the lights, and I will try to show you that with a mirror that the lights are indeed going on, and with this one the lights will shut down. So for the start and stop I can actually copy the same, but I'm only gonna do a forward motion. So in this case, the first thing what needs to be done, I can already set the train in a forward motion, so I'm not gonna do a reverse. So when that button is pressed, I'm gonna set it into forward motion, and then the only thing what I need to change is the way this acts. Let me put this one here, and then it would be index number 2, speed 30 to move the train. Oh, let me do speed 70 so you can really see the difference. So that's index number 3, so it needs to be 3, and a stop would be 1. It's not completely powered off. So let me go over there, and I hope you can hear it with this train. Just let me put the mic to the train and you will hear it when I press the power button. You should hear that the engine sounds that it would like to start, so you hear a noise. And let me now power off the train. So you should have heard that the train has power, and then when you hit the power button again, the train does not have any power. So now let's check if the train will start. So I'm gonna hit the start button. In this case it's the play pause. You see the train is starting and runs around on a constant speed. Now I can press it again and it will stop, but the engine will keep on running until I hit the power button. I need to hit it twice because I didn't check on the setting when the program was starting. That is something which we will do in a later section when we combine everything, that only the start-stop function will work when you have hit the power on button first. So now we only need to concentrate on the decrease and the increase. So how are we going to do that? So we did not do anything with the decrease speed or the increase speed. So now we are going to work on the decrease speed and the increase speed. So we need to check what the current speed is. Therefore, I'm going to use the NS. I see that I used 1208. Yeah, that's correct. The train NS 1208 current speed. I need to check if it's already a minimum level or if it's already the maximum level. The maximum level here is number 4, index number 4. So 90, that's fast enough. So we will use the curly brackets, and I'm gonna do a if train speed is larger or equal to train speed number 2 and smaller or equal to train speed number 4. We're gonna do a decrease speed. So if it's larger than index number 2, which is 30, and smaller than index number 4, 90, we're gonna decrease the speed. And we're gonna decrease the speed by 2. So that means that the train current speed will be the train current speed minus 2. And we are going to write to that pin the new train current speed. We're gonna report decrease the speed by 2. Else, if one of the other is reached, I'm gonna print minimum speed reached. So we can copy this and use the same for this section. But then it's smaller or equal, larger or equal than the minimum speed and less than the maximum speed. Then we're gonna do an increase. by 2, and this will be a plus. And then is it the maximum speed reached? So let's see if that is okay. And we are gonna do the sequence. So we're gonna wait until it says remote control a train, press a button. The official way is power on, then start. Now we can decrease the speed. Each time I press on it, the train speed is decreased by 2. You see that the train is slowing down. Let me see. Still decreasing by 2. And the minimum speed is reached, which means that it doesn't go down. Now I can increase the speed. I'm gonna press a little bit faster. And you see that we can control the train with the buttons. And it says now maximum speed reached. So I can use a remote control to control a train. Let's stop it and power it off. So this is the way to use the remote control to start and stop the train, to increase and decrease the speed by just using a simple remote control application which is available for the Arduino. So if you like these videos, please hit the like button. If you want to see more of these videos, please consider to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get notified for further videos. Next week we will use all this and create a menu in which we will start the program, and only when the power is on, the train can be moved. If the power is off, all buttons will not be available. So I'm gonna create a menu structure. I'm gonna show you how I build it, and that will be next week. So stay tuned for more videos to come, and I will see you in another video. Thank you and goodbye.